She got on sweet.
Today we're gonna just do recovery type stuff since it's the end of the week, and apparently he's tired. So usually I'll work on like, really, like, you really want me to tell you like what we're doing?
This is the vlog.
I know, but I know how serious it is. So today we're just gonna do recovery type stuff, which means like I was like loosen up his hips, work his calves, kind of work his Achilles, loosen everything up. Since he's had like a long week of starting workouts up again, coming off of being in the boot for 5 days, so we would just work on loosening up his hips. And next week we'll move to like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday split, where we'll do hip mobility stuff and then do Achilles strengthening and that kind of rehab type stuff to get his single leg dynamic propulsion type stuff back. So might needle today. I've been working with Kay for 2 months, so we started working over in China, and then whenever he came back, started getting on a more consistent schedule. So we do 3 times a week, and then next week we'll move to 4 times a week. Ultimate goal is to kind of make sure injury prevention, number one. He's not really dealing with like a whole lot of injuries, but just has tight hips and really just want to get his body functioning as optimal as possible so to make it through an entire season healthy. So instead of just addressing like one side of pain, it's like addressing hip mobility, addressing what are his foot mechanics doing, and just getting moving really, really fluid so that we're not dealing with stuff once he's signed to a team and got a long season ahead. I mean, it's super important, and I think that the most important thing is just to understand your body and so that when something does come up, you know how your body functions, what your deficits are, because no one's going to be 100%. No one's going to have perfect flexibility, perfect strength, perfect muscle balances. That's where injury prevention, most of it is education, you know. We understand you have tight hips, and we know you're going to have an Achilles problem. How do we manage those so that you have kind of just your correctives to do all season long? It's kind of just maintenance type stuff. I would rather people do maintenance stuff when they're out of town and gone than have to see me 3 times a week for PT because you have a true injury. So it's time much better served doing injury prevention than waiting until something bad happens. So you can use it for a lot of different things. So most of the time, like if I go from hip all the way down, I'm kind of doing more like a systematic dry needling, so I'm getting the entire kinetic chain all the way down. Sometimes if he's just really tight or he's got, you know, trigger points, really like hypertonic bands of tissue, then I'll do trigger point dry needling where you get a twitch response. The muscle goes from that chronic state of contraction back to a resting state. And then when I'm doing it in the Achilles, it's just to facilitate an inflammatory response to help with scar tissue buildup, where he's just held some chronic inflammation in that Achilles. So you can use it for microcirculation, immune system response, or trigger point release. It all just kind of depends on what your goals are and what technique that you use.
That's 4.
That's 6. You didn't even know it. You're done.